Guys and dolls, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a really fun video, kind of a chit chat video. I'm going to be sharing with you how I get this really cool wavy mermaid hair with the aid of some hair extensions, and just kind of generally give you guys a little bit of an update, a bit of a chit chat. So go ahead, get a snackaroo, get some iced tea or whatever, and hang out with me for a little while. So I'm having some issues with my hair color, as you do. If you have any kind of bold hair color, you know, just weird stuff can happen. And so about 3 weeks ago, I went to my salon to get my hair recolored, and everything went well. Everything went fine. Went home, was super happy with it. And then like the next time I shampooed it, my roots were super light. Like I dyed my hair like this, like deep, you know, jewel toned purple at the root. And it was so weird, and I actually, you guys might have noticed I haven't posted very much lately. I was just really self-conscious about it. I'm like, what the heck happened? Where did my color go? And by the time I got around to like the third shampoo, which keep in mind, I don't wash my hair every day, I wash it every other day. And I posted a photo on Instagram, and like my roots were like blonde. And so my stylist actually DM'd me on Instagram, and she was like, what happened to your hair, dude? And I'm like, I don't know, this is so weird. And I was like so relieved to know it wasn't just me that like thought it was weird. And she was like, you have to come in so I can fix your hair. So I just have to say I have the best stylist ever, because she totally fixed it for me. But I think in the process of like doing like purple and trying to get the roots super purple, it's now like washed down into the bottom part of my hair, which if you guys remember used to be green, and is now sort of like this like raven color, where it's like parts of it are green, parts of it are blue, parts of it are purple, and it's actually quite cool. It's just not really what I was going for. I'm going to be trying to like let this fade out and stuff, but in the meantime I'm trying to find ways to interject color without actually like bleaching it or anything. So I thought doing these extensions would be a really fun way to do that. Now you guys probably remember these extensions that I had from last year when my hair was colored the same color as these extensions. Let me kind of just show you. I'm just going to clip this in somewhat sporadically. They don't actually look all that bad. Even when my hair's straight, they do kind of go, because my hair is such like a wild color that it doesn't look completely out of place. But by waving all of the hair, it's going to make it so that it all just kind of goes together seamlessly. Now I like to actually wave my own hair and the extensions separately, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with my own natural hair. I like to start from the back and the bottom and stuff, and just sort of clip everything out of my way. What you do is you grab a section, and I like to use the section or the side that doesn't have any of the bars. Like I don't like to put this side in towards my neck, because that's just asking to get burned. And actually I waved all of the extensions, or most of them, yesterday, and I burned myself pretty bad doing it, so be careful. So I'll grab a section very carefully, especially closer in towards the neck. It's a little easier to burn yourself, and you're just literally clamping it on there, and then you'll move to the next section. Now you guys didn't see me put a heat protectant in my hair, because it already had one in it earlier from when I blow dried it, and I now haven't washed my hair in about 3 days, which is hot. When you have all that oil and stuff on your hair, it acts as a nice natural barrier. And then I'll just grab the next section. So one of the things that's been kind of like challenging with like Mikey being home and everything is that like, especially the first like week or two, he really couldn't do anything. He was just kind of like laid up in bed I'm like trying to figure out which one of these hairs I haven't crimped yet. The first week he really couldn't do anything, and so I was just kind of like bored and by myself, and I didn't want to like watch any of our shows without him or anything like that. And so I found a way to entertain myself, and that's been by listening to audiobooks. So I downloaded the Audible app, which is so easy to do. You actually get like a free 30-day trial when you sign up. So I did the first free book. I tried The Handmaid's Tale, narrated by Claire Danes. So I love Claire Danes, so pretty much like her reading anything is awesome. In fact, I wish there were more audiobooks that she's read, but I just loved the book. I thought it was fantastic, and I think that Margaret Atwood is going to become one of my favorite authors, because so much about that book was so lovely. Like the way that everything is described, you just could visually see it in your head, and maybe that was part of like having it read to me. I love being read to also. It's something that like for years, if I can't sleep or something, I'm like, Mikey, will you just like read me something, anything? I'll like have him read me the news or something. So that's been really kind of cool to have that Audible app. I actually went ahead and upgraded my account because I wanted to have multiple books per month, and also because I'm sharing it with Mikey. So let me actually, after this little strand here, I'll show you guys the Audible app. Here it is on my phone. Here's all the books that I have. So the other cool thing about this is that if you have books that are already in your Kindle reader, it'll show up on your cloud that you can download them and then listen to the Audible version, which is so cool. And then down here you can see like this is Mikey's book that he's reading, which is Ready Player One. And then if you go to device, this is what I've actually downloaded. So I already listened to The Handmaid's Tale. I just finished The Casual Vacancy, and I literally only downloaded this thing like a week ago. I've just been like nonstop listening to books. It's just, oh, I love it. Especially like I have an astigmatism, so if you're not familiar with that, you're so lucky to not have it, but it can kind of cause your eye to skip, and you will end up rereading the same line over and over again, and then you'll end up reading the same line over and over again, and then you'll end up reading the same line over and over again. It's so frustrating. So actually by having this read to me, it makes it so that I can consume more books. And, you know, I've always felt really self-conscious about the fact that I'm a slow reader, but now by being able to listen to them. I'm doing 1984 by George Orwell. Like I mentioned, I did The Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling.
This is Audible. Hachette Audio presents The Casual Vacancy.
And that's what happens when you turn it on. So if you guys want to sign up for Audible, I'll have a link in the description bar down below to audible.com/vintage, and you guys can get your own free trial. I love it. This is a sponsored video, and I just want to say a huge thank you to Audible for approaching me with this, because you know, I'd heard about it before, but I never really got into it, and now I am obsessed. I've got Mikey into it. Oh, you can send books to friends, so I sent actually The Handmaid's Tale to my friend so she could try it. With The Casual Vacancy, one of the reasons why I never really got into the book is because, you know, there's a lot of British slang in it, and things like that were a little more difficult for me to just kind of grasp. And there's just a lot of characters. So actually by having that book read, it was a lot more easy for me to figure out who was saying what and everything. It was just, and it's such a good book. If you haven't read it, it's fantastic. I think it actually got a lot of negative reviews, and I think it was because a lot of people wanted it to be Harry Potter, and it's not Harry Potter, let me tell you. It is not Harry Potter. In fact, Mikey would like walk in on me listening to the book and be like, whoa, those are a lot of F-bombs. Going on a trip this weekend with with Michael's cousin and his aunt and his sister and everybody's kids. And I'm a little bit apprehensive about it because Rocco is a little rambunctious around both children. Not so much children, he's okay for the most part with kids, but he's really rowdy around other people's dogs. And I know Vanessa's probably going to be bringing her dog, and I'm just kind of like nervous about it. He's been better, and he's been a lot more calm with having both me and Mikey home, but he's been a little jumpy around other dogs, and it's just one of those things that's kind of hard to get him socialized with other dogs because other dog owners don't want your crazy rowdy dog all over their dog. One thing you guys will note too is that on the top layers, I won't weave it quite as much. I won't clamp it as hard. I'll let it be a little bit looser because I find the really super wavy stuff, if it's done straight on top, looks a little funky. So leave the iron on there a little less long. I also will pull the hair towards my face instead of out away from my face, because that way it'll lay a little bit more, it just lays a little bit nicer when you kind of pull it out and have it lay down the way you actually will want it to lay down. Okay, so then with the extensions, it's basically the same exact story. This is like the little one clip weft, so this is the easiest one to show you. Clip it. These are a little bit more stubborn because the hair is a bit thicker than mine. And I'll sort of like fold it as I go to make sure that I'm reinforcing the wave. This is so much easier than doing your own hair. It's just really tedious, especially with the thicker wefts and stuff. It just takes some time. So once you have it waved, just kind of set it aside to cool. And you can hairspray your hair if you really want to really reinforce it, but if you're doing it like I did, where your hair is actually a few days old and it, you know, it has a little bit of your natural like hair oil on it, it'll actually kind of get piecey on its own, and it'll hold the wave pretty well. Okay, so now we put in the extensions. So I know a lot of people have like a diagram of how they do their extensions and stuff. I don't do that. I'm pretty relaxed about how they go in. So I'll just sort of clip off a section from the back. I'll go ahead and turn around so you guys can see. just clip off a section. If you have very fine hair, if extensions tend to slip out of your hair, you can tease it. I try not to tease my hair if I don't have to, so I won't. And so what I'll do though is I'll sort of clip it into the row above the hair that's sort of flipped up, and this will anchor it quite a bit, and then I will close the snaps. I will clip the outside ones after I do the inner ones. And then I check it to see how I like the way it looks with my natural hair. Like, is this too long? Is it too short? It's obviously way longer than my natural hair, but I think it's going to be okay. I think this is going to work. Next one I'll do is the 3-clip weft, which is not quite as bright. And that's the other thing too I did when I originally dyed these. I had some that were dyed to be very, very bright and some that were dyed to not be as bright. So go ahead and again, clip hair out of the way. I'm sorry if you guys can't see. Maybe I need to be a little bit short. There we go. No, you'll hopefully be able to see a little bit better. So this one I really clip just right on top of where I have that other one. So I will clip the center and then the 2 sides. And then I will let my hair down and make sure that the clips are covered by my hair. So once you have your back wefts in, it's time to start working on the sides. So when it comes to the sides, I have a few wefts that are more brightly colored and some that are a little less brightly colored. So I'm going to take the one that's the least bright and put it the lowest down. So I'll sort of grab a section, and again, I'm not super like fancy about how I put them in, and I feel like the somewhat randomness of it helps them look a little more natural. And then I put these in a bit more like at a diagonal like that, so not like straight across. And I think that it kind of helps it lay a little more layered looking. That in just a little bit higher up. This one I guess is a little bit cleaner of an application. And when you put these in, you do want to make sure that you have them at least an inch away from your hairline, because this will help to hide the weft. Okay, and you can see that's starting to really blend in well with my natural hair. And then one last thing that I like to do is take the little skinny 1-clip weft, and sometimes people like to put them like in this kind of region and stuff to sort of, here I'll kind of just show you, to add like a little bit of the extra length towards the front. What I like to do is actually add some of the brightness in this part of my hair that tends to be darker. So I'll grab some of this hair from back here, and I like to put it behind my ear, and like I really like the way that falls. It adds that nice little pop of color underneath. And do you see how well that blends in with my natural hair now? It's not perfect, but you know, it works. I've got some of these that are about the same length as my natural hair. Kind of play with it until you're happy with it. And then you could actually brush them all together carefully, and then it blends a lot easier. It's really just about kind of tweaking it until you're happy with it. And once you get all the clips in where you want, you're done. Like, that's it. That's the style. Sometimes what I'll do to make it look a little bit more natural is I'll actually pull some of my own hair back like this. So that's where the benefit of having it away from your hairline falls. And that way, you know, it looks a little more natural to see your actual hairline all around. When you're styling it like this, one thing that can help is to just kind of pull out a few strands of your own natural hair, just, you know, for the color variation and everything. It'll just really help to look like you just have gorgeous mermaid hair. Let me know what you think of this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed the chit chat. Let me know what you think of the new setup. I do apologize if I looked in my viewfinder too much. I'm not used to not having a mirror in front of me, so it's kind of like using this as my mirror, so I'm sorry about that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Remember to be vintage or tacky. Just be your own kind of beautiful. See you, bye.